Hello again, guys. I've gotten the question an awful lot from people, what's a great starter camera to get started on YouTube? And the answer I almost always give people, aside from just use your cell phone, is get a super cheap camcorder. And one in particular that I've mentioned is this one, the Canon Vixia HF R50. Now the reason this is in front of you, I do not need an extra camcorder, but I could not in good conscience keep recommending it to people without trying it myself. Canon sells this refurbished on their site for 99 bucks, and it's been that way for several months now, and this is a 1080p 60 camcorder. So I thought I would just pick one up and give it a shot, and open it on camera and give you some quick sample videos and everything, just to let you know what you can get for under 100 bucks. So inside of the box, find some Canon information, guide and registration information, 1 year limited warranty on all Canon refurbished products, lots of bubble wrap, a mini USB cable, a mini HDMI cable, wow, the AC adapter, which actually looks an awful lot like the one that I use for my Vixia Mini, the battery, which is going to be kind of hard to see, but it does say BP718 1790 milliamp hours. Amazing they're able to fit that much power in this little space. And finally, the camcorder itself. I'm just taking a quick look around at it. You can see here on top it mentions 32x optical zoom, HD CMOS, optical image stabilizer. On the side it says Canon Vixia HF R50, Wi-Fi, built-in 8 gigs of storage. So you do actually get storage with this. You don't have to immediately buy an SD card, and you can use that mini USB cable to get the data off. But I would recommend having an SD card for it just because it will make your life a lot easier. On the bottom you've got your tripod mount, battery release button, handy hand strap, charging port, start and stop button, lens release, that will open and close the lens for you. And when you open it up, you have your 3-inch touchscreen LCD, microphone jack, AV out, which actually did not come with an AV cable, kind of surprising, but I never ever use them. Mini HDMI out, mini USB out, your on-off button, and your playback button. And right here is your SD card slot. Let's go ahead and stick the battery in. That's relatively simple. Basically just put it down here at the bottom, give it a little push, and slide in. And there you go. And unfortunately it seems like my battery is dead. But that's okay, we'll use the external adapter and see if that works. Alright, it does say it is charging, it has power. Now we can open it up. Oh, and there's your little Vixia startup screen and our setup process. So we pick English, date format, date and time. And there you go, much better. Now here we're given the option of whether we want AVC HD or MP4. I generally use MP4 on all of my Canon camcorders, but you do have AVC HD as an option. It's supposed to be higher quality and easier to color grade. I've never used it for that, so I'm just gonna stick with MP4 for now. Here's where you're gonna record it to. Do you want it to go to the built-in 8 gigs of storage, which has 1 hour of recording time, or to an SD card slot, which again, we don't have an SD card in at the moment. We'll save the built-in memory for right now just to get started. Or do you wanna record your photos? Same difference. And the setup is complete. Now that it's done, there's all your information, and it says check whether the lens cover is open. And there you have it. You can tilt your little screen, move things around, and actually just for fun, let me switch over to using this. Okay, and here's a quick first test of the Canon Vixia HF R50. I did have to go in and make some settings changes. I had to change it over to use 35 megabits per second, that's 1080p 60. I had to custom set the white balance, and I used this little gray card to actually white balance so it doesn't look terrible. I have the audio set to automatic so that it should be kind of adjusting. Not the best option there, but it is definitely an option. And I turned the exposure way down because with these lights, it was just blown out. But so far, does not look too bad. And it's set to autofocus, so whenever I move around, it should keep me in focus pretty nicely. And now I've gone ahead and switched over to a different microphone. This is actually the Audio-Technica 8024 that I use for most of my videos. And I changed the audio from automatic to manual so that I could control exactly how loud it's allowed to get. That should make a massive difference, and actually would make a big difference in your videos if you're making them. And realistically, looking at the footage, looking at what I'm seeing here in front of me, this looks an awful lot like a camcorder that I used to own from Canon. I used to have several different ones actually, the HF M40, the HFG, several over the course of the years. The one downside I am seeing to this is it did not come with a remote. Not such a big deal because this does have a pretty wide angle lens, so I can actually reach out and touch it if I want to turn it on or off. But a remote could be very nice if you wanted to do things remotely. But you can't always pick one of those up over on Amazon. I think they usually run in the neighborhood of $5 to $10, and they make just universal ones that work with them. But anyway, just wanted to give you sort of a quick video sample. This is how it can look and how it can sound with pretty decent lighting and with a halfway decent microphone for a $100 camcorder. Not terrible. And I thought I would give you just a little bit of a back and forth just to show you some of the ways that it would act in different lighting scenarios, different sound scenarios. This is no lighting, just using the natural light from the window. Looks a lot better. I overdid it with the turning the exposure down with the lighting earlier. It would have looked even better there. But as we walk through the house, you're going to see it's going to get kind of dim. What you are going to notice though is that there's a lot of built-in stabilization, which is very, very nice. I'm holding this at about arm's length, and it's comfortably framing me for the most part. This looks decently grainy, but I would guess I would kind of expect that. Again, we're in relatively low light. Let's go into the kitchen, which is a little bit better lit. You know, we got some bright overhead lights in here. Still looks a little bit grainy, but definitely not too bad. We've got a lot of background noise from the dryer and washer you may be able to hear. So there you go with that. And actually, I thought we'd take it out back real quick. It is raining, but we may be able to capture just a little bit of zoom with it. And this is just outdoor, decent lighting. And you'll actually, hopefully there's a little bit of wind cancellation because there's a lot of wind out here. Let's do some zooming. So this is as fast as it will zoom, and as far as it will zoom, just the 32x built-in optical zoom. That's really, really far out there. Wow. Zoom back out. There you go. Zoomed all the way back out. Wind is definitely blowing hard at this point. Zoom in over on the basketball goal. Just look how far that goes. There's a bit of a color shift there to it, but getting the job done. Handheld, I don't think this is doing a terrible job. I think it's doing pretty well. Not bad at all. So hopefully those few different shots going through different lighting scenarios and everything were sort of helpful to you. And we're back on the main camera. I think that's actually going to wrap this video up for me for today. I just sort of wanted to show you what you can get for $100, that it does work, that it is not a terrible option. It's probably going to be a little bit better than a lot of people's smartphones if $100 is what you can afford for a camera. And you can pick up a relatively inexpensive microphone for like 15 or 20 bucks for a lavalier mic on Amazon. I'm going to have to take a little bit of time and see if this battery is actually dead, and if it is, I'm going to get in touch with Canon and see if they'll replace it. But it says that it's charging when you plug it in, so I guess that's progress. But all in all, for a camera that has zoom, it's teeny tiny. I mean, you can see just how small it is in my hand, and it has up to an hour of built-in recording time just using the 8 gigs of built-in storage. It doesn't seem like a bad option to me. There are loads and loads of other camcorders and point-and-shoot cameras and everything over on Canon's Refurbished site. I've purchased from them multiple times in the past. This is not a sponsored thing, it's not an affiliate thing. Literally just saying that this is another option if you need something that's inexpensive and you can get it here in just a couple of days. Go ahead and check them out. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you like this video, leave me a thumbs up below the video. Subscribe to receive more of my videos when they become available. We'll see you again next time. I'm super close. I've almost reached my purchase. And that'll actually do. Wow. That was about 1,000,000%.